What's up guys, FuryTV here, and we are back with another episode of Poker Hands. Today, we're going to be taking a look over some poker fails in a Bluff Gone Wrong compilation. Before getting into it, I would like to ask you guys to hit the like button and subscribe if you enjoy our videos, as your support is allowing us to continue posting videos on a daily basis.
It's good for him.
Action this hand will start with Bob. He's going to lay it down. Now we're over to Bruce, who's already got the cap on his cards and the chips being staged. Looks like he's going to go ahead and lead out here on the button with King 4 suited. Makes it 175,000.
I'm glad that even King 4 is within Bruce's button raising range.
Close enough.
6-8 of diamonds for Vu. Vu loves those gap suited connectors. Let's see what he does here.
That's the only yellow you have there, Daryl?
That's it.
And I think he's asking Daryl how many chips he has, because if he 3-bets, he doesn't want Daryl to somehow wake up with a hand, and he might be committed to calling Daryl's stack, but it looks like he wants to 3-bet here instead of just call.
I call.
He is going to opt to just call here. And that's going to invite Daryl into the pot.
Man, you can't steal my line. What's wrong with you?
Bob's going to fold.
You can't steal my line.
And the flop is 8, Queen 5, all clubs, which means Bruce has flopped a flush, the second nut flush, in fact. And I don't see this hand going on much further past this flop, as Vu only has second pair, no club, and Daryl has nothing.
Unfortunately for Bruce, not a lot for the other players to play with. Everyone's going to check around.
Bruce is going to slow play and just check behind. The turn is the 3 of clubs, and this is why I don't really like slow playing flop flushes multi-way, because although it looks like Vu's going to lead into Bruce here, he's a little bit handcuffed now because he's afraid of the ace of clubs, and he's not going to get much value because once Bruce calls Vu's bet, Vu might not fire again on the river.
265.
And Daryl is going to get it away. We're on to Bruce now. Of course, Bruce checking the flop kind of conceals that he flopped the flush here, so he got a little bit of action.
He does, because Vu decided to try to bluff in this spot, but at the same time, if anybody else had another club out there on the flop, they might have come along from the flop bet.
Sure. River is a jack of spades, insignificant jack of spades. Bruce with the second nuts here. Probably isn't going to go anywhere, no matter what Vu bets. And I agree with my co-host to the left here. The action is probably done in this hand. But as it's been proven many, many times over the years on the HPT, I am again wrong. And he is going to fire 390,000 on the river here. What's he trying to do with that bet, Maria?
I think he's trying to get Bruce off of like a 7 of clubs or a 9 of clubs here, but unfortunately for him, Bruce has the second nut flush, and he is going to call.
Couldn't raise it.
That bet size just wouldn't do it for what Bruce has, and it's probably
cards, because that's a tough decision right there.
Really, a lot of leveling going on there, James. You know, poker is not just a physical game. You know, matter of fact, it's not very much physical. You're just pitching a couple of cards, right? But it's very high mental challenge, and we saw it displayed in that last hand.
And something we don't talk about enough, but these players have been battling it out the last 3 days. So fatigue comes into play, and just overall, your brain gets a little fried too.
Good point. Good point. So it's more physical than we realize when you're sitting down for 12 hours a day, 3 days in a row.
And that's why I have so much respect for these players. Let's go to the flop. Ace, king, deuce. Not a bad little flippy floppy there for Bobby.
No, he's flipped up 2 pair. Not much for Josh, though, so I expect he may give him 1 free card to elicit a bluff on the turn, but I expect him. He does. I like this. Very nice. Don't overplay your hand. Sometimes you get value by bluff catching.
5 of spades hits the turn, so now a gutter ball there for Josh. Bobby with kings and deuces.
Yeah, I don't expect him to give another free card. For sure, he's going to bet maybe 300, 400,000, something like that.
He's going to bet 400,000.
Yep, he does.
400,000 action over to Josh.
Not getting the right price to call here. Will he have the discipline to lay it down, or does he see the finish line? Oh, he makes the semi-bluff. All in and is quickly called by Bobby. His trap works so far. He's got it almost locked up. If he can dodge a 3 on this river card, he will make yet another important double up, James, and be right back in this tournament for the title.
Yeah, one card to go here. As you can see, Bobby all in for his tournament life. Needs to make sure that this hand holds up. So let's go to the river card, and it's the 4 of spades. So Bobby is going to double up just like that.
Wow.
We've got ourselves a match.
We do. I mean, what a well-played hand. Not to overplay your hand, get scared of the possible flush draw out there, let your opponent get into the hand a little bit, and then charge him.
All right, folks, we've got to step aside for a quick commercial break, but when we come back, heads-up action will continue here on the HPT from the Ameristar Casino Hotel East Chicago. One of these two fellas will go home with the big payday and the title. We'll be right back.
Off Bluffs. But not to be that time.
The action continues from the Ameristar Kansas City. I'm James Larson alongside Kenneth James. You're watching Heads Up Poker Play. That's Jeff Fielder from West Des Moines. His opponent, Jovan Sudar from Omaha, Nebraska. So a couple of players from right here in the heartland of America playing on the Heartland Poker Tour.
That's fantastic. Jeff keeping the pressure on the short stack by raising the button. And it looks like Jovan is going to defend with the 10-7 of clubs. That's standard. It's going to put him in a tough position, though, short stacked.
And the flop is King 7 Jack, so Jovan gets the best of that. Pairing is 7, and he's got a backdoor club draw.
So this is going to get tricky, though. Third pair on the board, checking to the razor. Jeff almost certainly going to bet.
And the bet is 200,000 chips. Jovan quickly makes the call.
Yeah, he really likes calling off bluffs, and he's going to see another card.
Turn card is the 10 of spades, so 2 pair now for Jovan. As you can see, he can't lose the hand unless he folds. He's going to check over to Jeff.
Why would you fold? 2 pair. You're calling with 10 high. You're 2 pair. You're licking your chops to the river. Oh, you're right, James, because now a check and a big all-in here could force him to fold the best hand.
Jovan checks.
What great insight from Mr. James Lawson.
Jeff here trying to represent a queen, but it's not going to work.
No.
And Jovan doesn't take a lot of time. Have you noticed that?
No,
all
he
night
doesn't.
Long, when he makes a decision, boom, those chips go right in the middle.
He's the sheriff. He'll look you up.
All right, folks. Well, don't go too far. We'll be back with more of our heads-up match right here on the HPT. Guy you want to give more chips to, that's for sure. And now Maurice right back in this thing, and he's on the button, looking to raise it up. He's got King 9.
He just dribbles those 25K chips into the pot, like a basketball. He raises it up to 100,000 on the button. Now back over to HB, who's been a thorn in his side. This is the one time he gets out of the way.
Keith now in the big blind. His holdings are Jack 8, and he's going to go ahead and make the call. Maurice in the lead right now, and we go to the flop. It's 9-6 tray, couple of clubs.
Top pair for Maurice.
Keith is going to lead out with 125,000.
Well, he's got very little equity in this hand, so I think he's going to take one stab and done here.
And Maurice makes the call of 125,000 chips. So now we go to the turn card. It's the 5 of spades.
And I think Keith should be done with this hand, but he picks up a gut shot, so maybe that's enough to encourage him to keep his bluff line going. It's not going to get through.
175,000 and a quick call by Maurice. Let's go to the river card. It's another 5, this time the 5 of diamonds. And Keith going to stab one more time at this pot. And I don't think it's going to be enough for Maurice to throw away his hand.
Nope, 300,000 and a quick call, and that is it.
Maurice says, ship those chips over here, please. Back over to me.
Nicely played hand by Maurice. Just letting his opponent keep betting the value of his own hand and maximizing his value rather than raising.
Nice little smile from him there. We're three-handed here at the Meadows. Thanks. I just want to say really quick, I'm sorry, James. I got to give a shout-out to Jeremy, our tournament director there. As you can see, he's calling all the action down there, tirelessly putting together our tournament structure, the dealers, everything that the staff goes through on HBT to put on these great events. Thank you, guys. We really appreciate it.
And we'll see Jeremy for our post-game interviews following tonight's play on the HPT. So Frank is going to raise it with a queen jack up to 400,000. Mike looks down at ace deuce, and he is going to make the call. So Mike's been involved in a lot of pots tonight here early on. And let's go to the flop. It's ace 10 tray, couple of hearts.
Checks over to Mike. Mike checks as well. Both players check the flop.
Mike pairing his ace. Frank with the gutter Broadway draw. Turn card brings the 7 of clubs.
Oh, it's interesting. You know, there's a lot of passive play other than the early on with the double barrel bluff by Mike. But he doesn't choose to bet the flop with his ace, kind of lay back in the weeds, but now he's leading out on the turn. Frank should easily find the muck here. He's only got a gutter ball straight.
Well, nothing's easy here at the Meadows, and he is going to make that call.
Optimism abounds. He's going to need a king.
And the river card is the 8 of spades. So as you see, Mike with the check mark there, with his paired ace, but action is on Frank.
Million.
1 million chips.
1 million. 1 million.
Now, what's going through Mike's mind right
Well,
here?
I don't
Does my
know, but
opponent
his-
have to pair?
But his chips are so close to the betting line. He's got to be careful. Just cutting off those chips, it almost looks like a call, but he's contemplating. He's thinking. He makes the call.
See the hand, Frank? Frank shows
Oh, and
queen.
did you hear him? Frank says, I have a straight.
Wait.
But he doesn't have a straight.
Oh, my.
So he thought he had a straight.
Misread his hand.
And these types of things happen. I have to ask you, Kenneth James, has